Hi, I'm Mark with Bayou Creative. Today I'm sitting down with Mr. Tim Breaux with Lafayette RPAC. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and roll that intro. Hey Tim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So before we get into it, can you just kind of tell us who you are and what kind of work you do?
My name is Tim Breaux. I'm retired from Lafayette Consolidated Government in 2004, which then I started into the construction business and development business. I started building hotels when the hotel boom was hitting, and now I'm transitioned into doors and windows and more development in real estate.
Well, that's awesome. So you kind of mentioned there some of the things you've had from your past. So can you tell me a little bit about what it was like in our community and growing up in our community and the kind of impact that you had in it?
I tell you what, as a kid growing up in Lafayette Parish, right off of Johnson Street by Doug Ashey's, it was a great childhood. You could ride your bike anywhere, do whatever you wanted, build tree houses. It was a great childhood. Everyone that was in the neighborhood, parents kept an eye on each one of those kids. So you really had a large group of family members in the neighborhood that you lived in. Getting into high school, went to Acadiana High School. It was a rural/urban school. Had great friends I made there, and then we transitioned to UL. Back then it was USL, where I got a couple of degrees there, one in criminology and one in political science. And then went on to LSU, got in law enforcement training, and then went to Yale for management school.
How have you been able to use your education to do the kind of work that you've been doing in our community, working within our governments and things like that?
Well, you know, when you go out and explore other areas and how people do things in other areas, it makes you kind of open up your eyes a little bit bigger, saying, we're doing this in our area, but we could do it better. So I took a lot of that knowledge that I got from my travels, and I encourage traveling because you learn so much from traveling. Even in my government job, I was able to bring in more money into our community. You know, when I first took over my department, I was in charge of community development, and it was all grant writing. I think we had $1.9 million worth of federal funds coming in at the time. By the time I retired, we were over at $21 million a year. So that's from going and traveling to other areas, getting ideas of what people are doing in other communities and bringing it back to Lafayette.
So we kind of talked about, what it was like coming back, what that impact was. So since then, what are some of the different organizations that you have been a part of and positions that you've held within government?
I was the chairman of the Lafayette Optimist Club, which we raise money for our drug prevention programs in Lafayette Parish. I've been involved in the Republican Party for quite a number of years. I was President Trump's chairman in 2016, 2020. I've been involved in the drug policy boards on a state level. I've been involved in the state Republican organization as a deputy chairman, and now serve as the chairman for our local Republican Party, which is known as the Lafayette RPAC. So I'm very involved in the community. I've always donated my time. I think it's really important that people do that and give back to their community.
It's amazing. So I kind of heard there you mentioned something about President Trump. So what's the connection there?
Well, we were introduced to President Trump in 2010, 6 years before he even thought about running for president. I'm sure he's always thought about running for president before he actually announced that he was going to run for president. Because I had a friend of mine that offered us his place in New York to bring my family for Thanksgiving vacation. And it just so happened that Mr. Trump was at this function one day, and I got invited to it because we were guests there. And we started talking. He was really interested. For me being from Louisiana, the Saints had just won the Super Bowl. So he's a big sports guy. He said, man, how about those Saints? I said, we were excited about it. We were ecstatic about winning the Super Bowl. And he was so focused on our conversation. There was numerous people around him that were trying to get his attention. But when he's focused on the conversation with you, you're like the only person in the room. But so anyway, long story short, we got to be friends and through conversation, and asked what my family did for a living and my wife, and then I told him she was an interior designer. And he said, I use a lot of interior designers. He goes, I'd like to meet her. So Monique hadn't come down yet, so I said, you need to come down and meet Mr. Trump. And they talked, and next week he invited her for a meeting up to New York. And so she started doing work for him back in 2010. And I just so happened to go up to Trump Towers one evening with Monique after a long day of work. And he walked in, and he knew my family was in politics, and my father was a sheriff here for 16 years. And he doubled back, and he said, hey, he said, I need your help in Louisiana. He said, would you be willing to help make my campaign? I'm getting ready to announce for president. I said, sure, Mr. Trump, whatever you want. So I get a call, and they said, he just appointed you as chairman of the state. It's been one of the best experiences of my life. I mean, going to the victory party that night, going to the inaugural ball for President Trump. We actually attended his daughter's wedding in November in Mar-a-Lago, and which was only 200 people invited. So once he trusts you, you're part of the family.
So within the Republican Party, what's one of the things that you're trying to do currently right now? Or what are you trying to become into position for?
Well, I'm actually running for 2 positions. I'm running for the local parish position at the Lafayette RPAC, and I'm running for the State Central Committee. So I'll talk about the local one first. I got involved back in 2016, and our local party was just was in shambles. There was a lot of argument and arguing, and just people not getting along. Nothing was getting accomplished. So I got really involved. I'm not getting involved in something, I'm gonna go 100%. I'm not gonna do it at all. So I was able to work my way into a chairman's position, got elected as chairman, and we changed the whole party around in Lafayette. We were able to get good members elected to serve. We did numerous fundraisers, and with these fundraisers, we were able to raise a lot of money to help candidates that really are thinking about running for office, but just can't afford to run for office. So we support them financially. So financially, through our Facebook page, monetarily, and we've been very, very successful. So we've taken our RPAC, Lafayette RPAC, and turned it completely around. It made it a strong, viable committee in this community. Now on the State Central Committee, which is the state party, I run in a small district in Lafayette Parish, 22A, and we'll represent Lafayette at a state level.
Okay, that's good information. Is there any other kind of information you'd like for people to know at home about one, what that position will be doing for them, or 2, what you hope to accomplish within those?
I'm running for the local party, my position that I presently hold, and I'm running for a State Central, which is just like I said, small district in 22A. I'm trying to get elected for that. So I just want people to realize that there will be some of our people running for office that you'll see their name twice on the ballot. It's very important, very, very important, because the Democrats are running at the same time to fill their positions. So I just want people to know that we have a strong Republican Party here in Lafayette.
Well, Mr. Tim, it's been amazing getting to sit down and talk with you today. It really has been, and I do wish you luck in the upcoming election for the positions that you're looking to fill. Is there any last words you would like to say to everybody at home?
You know, the biggest thing is for people to get out and vote. They're anticipating 11% turnout. That is horrific. I mean, you know, the people that don't go out and vote are the ones that complain the most. Your consistent voters vote and get involved. So I'm just, you know, push the vote, get out and vote. You know, you don't have a voice unless you cast your vote. That's the way I look at it. So that's pretty much it.
Mr. Tim, thank you so much for sitting down.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
Well, that's going to do it for us here. If you like what you saw here, don't forget to hit the like button, crush that subscribe button, and hit that little notification bell to keep up to date with the things that we produce. But until the next one, have a good one.